You are listening to the Retina UK National Peer Support Group Winter Meeting recorded Thursday, 5th of January 2023.
Welcome everybody and a happy new year to you all. This is our third National Peer Support Group Winter Meeting. This is our first peer group meeting of 2023, so thank you everybody for joining us. My name is Mark Baxter. I am the information and coordinator for Retina UK. I've been with the organisation for 15 months. I'm living with RP or retinitis pigmentosa myself, and tonight's meeting is all about sort of outdoor activities, and it's my pleasure to introduce Jill Corso and also Rachael Foley. Jill is from Vision of Adventure. She's the operations manager for Vision of Adventure, and she's going to be talking about this amazing organisation and how they support outdoor activities through courses for those that are living with a visual disability. And we also have our very own Rachael Foley, who's a facilitator of our local Manchester group, who's going to talk about her experience as she has been on one of these holidays. So I'm going to hand it over to Jill now, who will begin her talk. Thanks very much, Jill, for coming along.
Okay, can everybody hear me first of all? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Lots of nods.
Excellent. Okay, so I'll try not to take too long over this. I've got some notes, so hopefully I'll give you a quick view of who we are and what we do. So who we are, Vision of Adventure, we're a very small charity. You could almost say a micro charity. We're nothing like Guide Dogs or Travel Eyes or anything like this. We're much smaller at the moment. To give you a bit of a flavour of how it is, it's almost like a family business, but it's a charity. And until very recently, everything was managed by myself and my husband Dave, with a little bit of paid for admin support as well. My background is an outdoor instructor. Too many years, I can't remember how many years now, working in the outdoors, my whole career basically. So I run the hands-on outdoor courses and supervise the outdoor staff. And my husband Dave, he's a retired IT consultant. So he set up the whole charity from a finance and governance point of view and ran that for until now, really. We very recently got to the stage where we've been able to take on an excellent business manager. So hopefully we'll be able to grow things a bit, because it's not just us anymore. We've got more people involved in working with us. So that's kind of the background of who we are. It's interesting because sometimes people think that we're a great big organisation like Guide Dogs and that we can do a million different things. So it's quite important to realise that we are quite small. A quick overview of what we basically do. The most practical, and we do lots of things in the background, but the most practical sort of public facing thing we do are weekend courses in the different activities for individual visually impaired people. We do canoeing, caving, rock climbing, tandem cycling, multi-activity, which I think is what Rachael came on last year, where you get a bit of everything, triathlon and open water swimming. And these courses are weekend courses, Friday night to Monday morning, and they're aimed specifically at visually impaired participants. To make it kind of accessible for people, the course starts when we pick you up from the station. There's a set meeting time and particular station depending on the course, and it's usually Oxenholme, which is the Lake District. It's usually 5:30 on a Friday. So we pick everyone up from the station on the Friday evening, and from then on until we drop people back at the station on Monday morning, everything is included in the course. We have a large pool of sighted volunteer guides who we've trained up and who've learned with us over the years. So it does mean that people don't have to persuade a family member or a friend to come with them. You can just come by yourself and we will pair you up with a guide who can do the activity. The guides are not experts. They are climbers, cavers, canoeists, people who enjoy their activity. None of them are professionals, but they are happy to share what they can do with you, and everything is supervised by our qualified and experienced staff. The way it usually works is we usually have 6 visually impaired people paired up with 6 sighted guides, 2 instructors, taking control of all the safety and everything, and then back at base, somebody, a host or a housekeeper, who manages all the domestics and the food and everything like that. That's kind of what a weekend looks like. Rachel will tell you a bit more what it looks like from their side later on. Accommodation wise, again, we don't go to hotels and things like this. We use hostel type accommodation. But when I say that, it's not like you might remember from your youth of scratchy blankets and nylon sleeping bags. Hostels these days are quite nice. We tend to have comfortable beds with duvets and quite often ensuite bathrooms and things like this. And we always self-cater in a place that we take just for our group, so we're not falling over other people. No school kids running around, nothing like that. Just us in the venue. And for meals, we eat all together. The person in charge of the domestics will orchestrate that, but everyone gets involved with a bit of washing up and a bit of serving and the odd potato. So that's how the weekends sort of work. The question that people often ask is what makes us different from other organisations? So there's a couple of things. Firstly, is that the only thing we do is outdoor activities with visually impaired people. We don't do anything else, and only visually impaired adults. We don't work with kids, we don't work with people with other disabilities, it's just for visually impaired adults. So over the last 10 years, we've developed lots of techniques with the visually impaired participants, with our guides, with our instructors, for doing things that we can teach to people, and ways of making activities easy for people to do independently or more independently. And we're not mixing you in with wheelchair users or people with learning difficulties or any of the other things that other organisations possibly might do. And the other big difference that we do is that we don't just deal with people at a beginner level. It's easy to get a beginner session or a taster session in an activity, but it's really hard to then become a climber or a caver or a canoeist and take it on further. And we believe that just because you might be visually impaired, it doesn't mean that you can't become a skilled caver, canoeist, climber, whatever in your own right, and make your own decisions about your own safety and level of risk and that kind of thing. And we allow people to do that. So for example, if we're going down a big river, we'll all stand on the bank and look at a rapid, we'll explain what it's like, and people make their own decision whether they're going to paddle it or not. And I will say to people, you can fall in on this rapid, and I can't stop that happening. You and your guide, you're paddling together, you know what you like as a team. You may fall in. If you fall in, may be unpleasant, you may bash on the odd rock, you may get a mouthful of water, you may not like it. It's your decision. Just because you're visually impaired, I'm not going to say you can't do it. So that's the other thing. A lot of organisations won't do that. I remember this autumn, the course that Rachel's coming on next year, I can remember standing in the middle of the river, in the middle of a rapid, with the guide and a visually impaired person standing in the middle of the river. There's people on the bank, and you can see them looking, thinking, why are they letting a blind person get into that position? But my question is, well, why not? Not any more delicate than anyone else, and it's all fine. So that's kind of what makes us different. That said, you don't have to put you in a dangerous position, but it's kind of we explain what it is, and people make their own decision. We don't wrap people in cotton. So that's that. I've got one more little bit. I'm rushing through this. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I'm aware that you haven't got long and there's other people to talk. The other question is what do different people get out of our weekends, or why do people come on the weekends? So there's different sort of, and all of these reasons for coming and things that you might get out of it are valid. So some people will book a weekend with us just because they want a weekend away to do something different. It's a holiday, just like going to Paris for the weekend or something else. It's just something different. They might come on a climbing weekend just to have a go at it and experience it once, with no intention of ever becoming a climber, and that's absolutely fine. We're fine for people to do that. That's great. The second thing, and this is probably the thing that most people, our regular people who've been with us for years, do, they use us as the chance to become skilled at a particular activity or 2 or 3 activities, and come back over and over again and get better and better at it. So they become good cavers, climbers, canoeists, triathletes, whatever it is they're doing. And the third thing that has become more apparent in the last couple of years is we are kind of trying to push this a little bit, coming to us to develop the skills and the confidence to be proactive in being able to go away and access other opportunities away from us, because they are skilled and confident in their activity. So I can give you an example. We had a lady who was she wanted to be an open water swimmer. She was a good swimmer. She could swim a couple of kilometers in the pool. She'd done a bit of breaststroke outside. She never had the confidence to go to an open water swimming group until we taught her how the guiding works on open water swimming. We gave her the equipment, which is a tether, basically. So then suddenly she is going to an open water swimming group and she's not saying, I'm blind and I'd like to go open water swimming, can you help me? She's saying, I'm a confident open water swimmer. I have done these swims. I know what I need. This is the help that I would need to take part. And it's a completely different thing for the group receiving her. She's got the skills, she's got the confidence, she knows exactly what she needs from them, and she can help them to help her. And she's found opportunities opening up straight away. So we're trying to give people those skills as well, so that they can go as an expert in what they need to a club or a group who can then help them to go further with their activity. And that applies to all activities. But that we can't, provide endless opportunities for everybody to do everything. So that is the way that we see as the way forward for people who want to become an open water swimmer or a climber or a caver or whatever, to be able to move forward. Yeah, so that's a very fast run through who we are and what we do and what you might get out of it. So yeah, there we go.
That was fantastic. Thank you very, very much, Jill. If anybody's got any questions, we'll let Rachel speak, and then what we'll do is we'll open up a few Q&A. If anyone has any questions, either Jill or Rachel at the end, and then what we'll do is we'll just open it up into a bit of social and just get everybody's experiences, whether they've done any of these activities or would like to, or just, whether you're, like Jill said, worried about confidence, or how to get started, that you can ask your questions. So I'm just going to hand it over now to Rachael Foley. Thanks again, Rachel, for coming along and speaking with the group. It's much appreciated.
No worries. So hi everyone, for those that don't know me, I'm Rachael Foley. How did I get involved with Vision Adventure? So I've been on a couple of the Galloway's water park holidays over in the Lancashire area, where you got to try things like windsurfing and kayaking and canoeing. And I met a lovely woman on there who told me about Vision Adventure. So I went online and saw what courses they did and put my request in, and I was successful in getting a place on the various activity weekend. So I went last September, spoke to staff at Vision Adventure who were really, really helpful, as I was going on my own, travelling on my own on the train to Oxenholme, and was a little bit, will I know people, will I know people, will I be able to do the activities? As you know, being someone who's visually impaired, registered blind, sometimes you have those thoughts going through your head. So I got all the reassurance through speaking to the staff at Vision Adventure, and off I went on the train, met a member of staff at the station from Vision Adventure, and they took me over to where we were staying. I think it was the Elang Old School, and I'd opted to pay the supplement and have my own room. So I was shown around the property, where my room was. Like Jill said, nice rooms, had an ensuite with a shower and a toilet and bedding and duvets, etc. Was shown where everyone has tea together, and got to meet everyone else that was going to be on the course with me during that weekend. The Friday evening was more of a social, so get to know everyone, have food, chatting, find out what the weekend was going to entail. And then Saturday we went off, we did archery, and that was great. We were paired up, sighted guide to visually impaired person, and we got to do archery. and I actually hit the bullseye. And we had balloons on the boards for the archery targets, and I hit one of the balloons, so I was pretty chuffed with myself. Then we went off for the afternoon, and we went and tried caving. Now, this is something I've never ever done in my life. I was a bit scared because I'm not a small person, and when they started getting all the equipment out, the suits and stuff like that, it was a bit like, are they going to fit me? And then when they took the sort of the lid off where you go into the cave, I was a little bit nervous and anxious, but the volunteers just put me at ease. We went inside the cave and we scrambled through on our hands and knees through water. Yeah, it was a really, really amazing experience, something I've never done before. And someone who is registered blind, visually impaired, you don't always get that opportunity to try it. So that was really, really good. And then in the afternoon, late afternoon, we went indoor swimming. So that was good. I really do like it, swimming. And then we had time to go back and get showered and get ready and changed and have tea with everyone again. And then on the Sunday, we went canoeing, which was great because we did double canoes, a couple of different sides of the lakes. And then in the late afternoon, we went indoor climbing. So yeah, again, the staff were amazing. I got to try things like belaying, which is actually holding the rope while someone climbs up the wall and then basically lowering someone back down to the floor when they're doing the abseil. So yeah, I got to try lots of new things, learn lots of new skills. I met some lovely people, and from it, it's made me want to go on the courses again. So when the course schedule came out, I think it was late last year, I had a look at the courses, and I've recently just booked onto the canoeing holiday at the end of September this year. So yeah, looking forward to that. Some more new experiences and new skills, and I think because I like doing stuff that's adventurous, like being outdoors, and you know, sometimes you can't always do stuff being visually impaired, or you have to take a family member or a friend, or you know, you have to find someone to go with you to do stuff. But with Vision Adventure, you don't have to do that. You can just go on your own, and you're looked after from the minute you get there to the minute you leave. Like Jill said, they pick you up from the station on the Friday evening, and then they take you back to the station on the Monday morning. So yeah, I'd say if anyone likes the outdoors, likes trying things, then give it a go, because like I say, I've not looked back now. I'm definitely up for doing more of these courses, and love being able to have the freedom and the independence of going to do something when you can't see. So yeah, give it a go if you can. And thanks.
Oh, that was amazing, Rachel. Thank you very, very much. That's it does give you something to think about, that there are these organisations out there that can support those that are visually impaired. As you know me, I'm a bit of an adventure and a bit of an adrenaline junkie myself. Treks through all different terrain, mountains, etc. Through Retina UK as a fundraising activity. But it's nice to know that they've got there's these organisations out there that want to train and give blind and visually impaired people the opportunity to, like you say, just go to see whether it's something that they would love to get involved in, as they wouldn't know where to go to look. So I really do appreciate you talking about your experience, and also to Jill coming on and speaking about Vision of Adventure. It seems like an amazing organisation. And I'm just going to open up the floor to anybody that has a question. So say your name and where you're from, and it might be a bit of a free for all, but we'll try and do it in order if we can. So has anyone got any questions for either Jill or Rachel?
Yeah, Jonathan here. I've got a question.
Yeah, far away, Jonathan.
First of all, Rachel, well done. That sounds amazing. And you conquered some fears there, so brilliant. And I'm so pleased to hear that you're going on another one. Jill, thank you for putting together such an amazing organization. My question is about tandem cycling. My partner, Annie, and I, we're big adventurers. And one of the things we talk about but haven't done yet is going on a tandem cycling holiday. I've been on tandems before and I enjoy it very much, but is it something that you can teach us to do together with Annie learning to be the pilot on a tandem?
It is. We train up pilots all the time because we need them. Usually we train the pilots up before the courses so that when people turn up on the course, they are ready to go. The only thing I might say about is that size-wise, are you bigger than her?
Exactly, that's the problem. I'm just shy of 6 foot, and Annie is not. I mean, that's our big concern because Annie's short, and I'm quite a sizable guy.
That possibly it's not impossible. It would take a bit of work. It is quite hard when the person on the back is considerably bigger than the person on the front. We usually try to arrange it the other way around. You might be better off going on a group holiday where you ride with different people. I know that doesn't help for you wanting to go off on your own adventure. But
and the other question is, do you do stand-up paddle boarding?
No.
Not, okay.
Not in our repertoire at the moment, no.
Okay. Well, thank you again. I think it's an amazing charity you've set up, and I will have a look at your list of adventure weekends.
Thank you very much for your question. Anyone else have any questions?
Hi.
Yeah, I have.
I'll wait. Sorry, I'll go after the lady that just spoke.
I'd like to know the triathlon one that Rachel was discussing with all the various different activities. How much does it cost, and is it all in the Lake District? Because I don't live in the Lake District. I'm near London.
Right. Yes. So it wasn't a triathlon one that you came on, was it, Rachel? It was multi-activity.
Oh, multi-activity.
Yeah.
Multi-activity. And the good thing is, just to say something I didn't say, was all the equipment, and I think Jill probably did say it, but all the equipment is provided. So things like wetsuits, wellies, fleeces, over trousers, overcoats, you name it, it's all provided. So, but yeah, mine was the various multi-activity one that I did.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting, Rachel.
Yeah, so this year, I think our price for a 3-night weekend, a Friday to Monday weekend, is £300 all in. That said, if that is a barrier to anybody taking part, they need to let us know, and we do, we can sort out, we do have a bit of a hardship fund for people who genuinely can't afford it, if it's a barrier for people. So £300 is the cost. But all of our costs are quite heavily subsidised. We have a lot of funding because it's very expensive to run all this.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But that's the cost this year.
And I'm going to go and have a look at your website afterwards. Yeah. And thank you very much for your talk.
All the 3-day weekends are the same price. Doesn't matter what you're doing or where it's based.
Yeah.
And then bank holiday weekends are a little bit more expensive because they're 4 nights.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
But the multi-activity course that Rachel was talking about, it's the one that we encourage first-timers to go on, really. Unless you already know that you're going to like one of the other activities, it would be quite a big.
Yeah, I would have, as it be my first trial, I think I probably would want the multi one rather than particular ones, if you like.
It'd be a leap of faith to sign up for a whole weekend of caving if you'd never done it before.
No, I've never done it before. No.
but as Rachel found, it's not as bad as you think it's going to be.
I think the thing with the caving is the fact that you, even though you might be, because I'm quite tall and I'm broad, but
me too.
Cave, and underneath there, the support from the staff was just amazing. It's goes high, goes low, you're crawling on your hands and knees. Even halfway through it, we actually sat and had hot chocolates and in the cave.
Lovely.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Very much for your question. There was another question straight after. Who's that, sorry?
Hi, Mark. It's Toff. So I'm Toff.
Hi,
I
Toff.
live in Reading. Hi. So yeah, unfortunately, I joined late because I was trying to join on Teams and then realized it was Zoom, not Teams. And by the time I got around to sort of downloading Zoom, I was missed part of it. But from the bits that I'll listen to the recording after. But from the bits that I got, it did sound really good, because I did go once on a Nielsen resort kind of sporting weekend in Croatia, but that was for sighted people, and I'm not sighted. I went with my wife, and I struggled there a bit just because of the fact that they obviously weren't geared towards trying to deal with someone who had a visual impairment to the point where they didn't even have tandem bikes or anything like that, which is one of the main things that I wanted to do. But the one thing that I did enjoy doing was the wall climbing. And so this does sound like something that would interest me, going away and at least being able to have enough support and enough people around that kind of know that I've got an impairment, and can kind of go and do the activities.
Oh, smashing. Thanks, Toff. Yes, tonight's meeting is going to be recorded, Toff. So I'll send the email out to everybody with the link, and also people that had registered would have received the summer and the winter catalogue that Jill sent to me, that I've forwarded on to you. I'll actually forward that on to everyone again as well, just so you've got another copy of it, so you can actually look at what courses are available. Jill, does that catalogue get updated to let people know what courses are available and which ones are no longer, or is that a case that someone just has to ring up and inquire?
Yes, it's a good question. We do have a slightly complicated booking system because demand usually outstrips availability for our courses. We don't just put it live and let first come, first served. So everyone on our mailing list got that, got the list of courses, and then they get, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks to put in requests. And then at the end of that 2 or 3 weeks, we kind of share out the places. Otherwise, it's disadvantaging the people who aren't quick off the mark, aren't good at technology, need to wait for somebody to give them a hand with it or whatever. So we give everyone a couple of weeks to say what they want, and then we sort of do a bit of sharing out of the courses. So anyone who's on our mailing list is in this system. That's a bit like university clearing. And then at the end of that, we are just at the stage now where we're sort of saying to people, like Rachel will have got the thing saying, yep, you're on the canoeing, pay your deposit, and then your place is confirmed. And at that stage, then there'll be some people who'll say, oh, I've changed my mind, I'm not paying the deposit, I don't want the course. And then a load more places will then become available. So we're just at the stage now. There are some places that weren't taken in the first round, so some courses do have places on them. And in about a week's time, the time limit is up for people to claim the places that we offered them. They claim it by paying their deposit, basically. And then there'll be a whole thing of shaking down, and all the places that are available again will be put out. So that at that point, in about a week's time, we'll update the website.
Excellent.
Jill, sorry, I was just going to say, I thought it was good this year, Jill, the fact that you picked, I think it was your first 5, and sort of said your preference of what you wanted to go on first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Yeah. So if you didn't get your first choice, you had others that you wanted to go to as well. Yeah, we have to. It's tricky because things like the bank holiday cycling, we could have filled it 3 times over with people who wanted to come on it. So everyone who wants it can't necessarily have it. So it is. We do actually sort of ask people what their different choices are. We also get people to indicate things that they might be interested in, because we quite often have people pull out with a couple of weeks to go or something like this. So we've got a list of people then who might be interested in taking that place, and we get in touch with them. Okay. So yes, it's not like first come first served. We try to be quite fair about how we share the places out, really.
May I ask a question quickly? Yes. Which airport is closest to you, Jill? If I'm coming from Belfast to Manchester.
Manchester, and then there's a direct train from Manchester Airport up to Oxenholme. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Assuming there's no train strike.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Colin. Thanks, Kim. Yeah. Oh, Colin Hetherington, you've got your hand up. Hi, far away.
Hi, Mark. Just like to ask, would you be capable of doing it for likes of the deafblind?
So we have had a couple of deafblind people come. In their cases, neither of them have been completely deaf and completely blind. They've had a little bit. So the girl who we've had who's been most deafblind, she's come, but she's brought with her own assistant. Largely because she's.
I'm actually deafblind myself, but I would struggle doing the caving without my hearing aids and stuff like that. I take it you'd be under the water.
I mean, say we're quite used to sort of working things out for people and you know, figuring it out beforehand and that kind of thing. We did have a lass who was, I say, she was again without her hearing aids on. She really did struggle, and she came on a triathlon weekend, so she's ran, tandem cycled, open water swam, and it worked out a lot better than anyone thought it would.
That's excellent.
And just to say, Colin, the lady that Jill's talking about was actually on my course.
Oh, of course, she was on your course as well.
She was on my course, and she did everything. She did everything I did, and she was Jill. But she had, like you say, she had her own PA with her.
Excellent.
Because we didn't actually go underwater with your head, Colin. It was just on your hands and knees that I was on the water.
It's nice to know that you guys will accept someone that's got a personal assistant or a support worker. Caroline, you're coming caving with me. She won't like it one bit, but as long as she's holding my hand, she'll be fine.
Although we do provide guides, it doesn't mean that people can't bring their own guide if they want to. You know, sometimes we get couples turn up and they turn up as a couple and they say, yeah, but I'll guide somebody else, you know, and so they're both there on the weekend, but not necessarily working together. So it doesn't mean you can't bring your own guide.
If it's another trip to the Lake District, I'm in.
And we actually had that on our course, my course, sorry, that we had a husband and wife, and they stayed together, but then he also disappeared with others, so he had different people throughout the weekend, so I thought that was quite nice.
That's great.
Could I just ask something else, if that's okay? It's tough here in Reading. If this was covered in the earlier part of the session, then just let me know and I'll just listen back to the recording. But I just wanted to know, on each day of the weekend, is there like a timetable, so you know in advance between what time and what time you're doing various activities, or how does the day pan out? Is it mornings, is this afternoons, is that, and it's going to be X amount of hours and that sort of thing?
That's a really good question, actually. One of the things that we love about what we do is we don't have any set times. If you want to know the history of Vision of Adventure, if you have a look at the website, it'll be explained. But we started off within an outdoor centre that I worked at, and therefore we were stuck to definite meal times and things like this, and it was a right pain. So we do keep people updated about what's happening, and we do activity generally for a full day. So that is one of the things. You do need to be physically fit enough to keep going for a couple of days at a reasonable level. But we are super flexible. The only times that matter once we've got started is your train time on Monday morning. So although we do keep you updated about what time we're expecting this, that, and the next thing to happen, the beauty of it is, for example, on a climbing course, if you get up on a Saturday morning and it's pouring with rain, but it's forecast to come out nice later in the day, we might go for a bit of a walk, or if we happen to have people who run on the course, we might go for a bit of a run first, and then we might not get to the crag till lunchtime, and we'll climb till 8 o'clock at night, because that's when the sun's shining, and then we'll come back, because we're not set to set meal times. You know, and similarly, when we're out cycling, if the group's a bit slow, it doesn't matter. You know, it's the summer, it's not going to get dark. It doesn't matter if we get back a bit later. So it's one of the things that we really like, and none of the staff are watching the clock. It's like being away with a group of friends, and we just do it as we do it.
That sounds good. Thank you.
And that's what actually happened when we did the swimming on the Saturday. because we had the swimming pool to ourselves. So we were due to get back at one time, but we didn't get back till quite a bit later. But it didn't matter because they just said, well, we're there to have fun. And, you know, like you said, they weren't strict to set times. We could move things around and it was just great.
May I ask a question? Actually, two questions. It's Lottie. I'm calling from Shropshire. I wanted to know, has anyone turned up with their guide dog?
Yes. Now this is another interesting thing. Before COVID, we used to get quite a lot of guide dogs coming along, and we used to obviously if you're going caving, the dogs can't come with us, and in hostel type accommodation we can't leave them unattended. So we used to get along an extra volunteer or something like this who would mind the dogs, dog sitter. That became really difficult over COVID because it was just another person in the accommodation and it was another volunteer to find and all the rest of it. So the answer to that question is it's easier if people don't bring guide dogs, but we do appreciate that some people need to bring them and we will make it work. It also makes it more tricky with accommodation and sharing rooms and things like this as well. If somebody needs to bring their guide dog, we will work around that and make it work. It is, to be 100% honest, it's easier if people don't. So does that sort of answer the question?
Yeah, I also wondered about this because I'm sorry if I'm asking a question that's been covered. I had technical problems.
No, it hasn't been covered.
Through your thing, but I was I'm interested in the triathlon one, but I'm not particularly good runner or swimmer.
No, look, lots of people aren't when they start triathlon. Lots of people aren't good at all of the things or any of the things when they start, and you don't need to be. Yeah.
Thank you.
So like Rachel's friend Liz, I actually, outside of Vision Adventure, have a partnership with Liz where we race triathlon together, and we both admit that neither of us are that good. we raced at the Leeds National Championships this year, and it was brilliant. And we were probably last, but we didn't care. So yeah.
I saw your video, Liz. You both look very well at the end of that triathlon, I can say.
That's great. Has anyone else got any questions for Jill or Rachel?
Somebody with.
Can I just ask something?
Yeah.
It's excellent that everybody wants to do all this fantastic activity, and I used to do quite a lot of sport, but I found as my eyesight's got worse, my balance has got so much worse, and I can barely stay upright walking along the pavement, never mind running. And I just wondered if that's common and if you've got a way of getting around that.
It can be. It's like anything. It's practice and learning. There's one particular guy that that's been coming to us for years, and he also has a hearing problem and has terrible balance. And he has completed things like triathlons and so on. And it's just, you probably need to get him to speak to you, but it is just perseverance, really. And also, you know, assistance from the guide. You know, if you're running, if you're guided running or walking or whatever, you have got a guide alongside you who can
help.
Yeah, and when you get a partnership with a guide, like I say, I've done a lot with Liz. We have different ways of guiding when the terrain becomes tricky. We link arms. You know, a lot of the time we're just running. If it's flat and smooth, we're running just tethered together. But when it gets tricky, we're sort of actually linking arms and locking ourselves together so that we don't fall over, either of us. So yeah, it's just a question of trying it really and seeing what works. But it's not that unusual.
Thank you.
Oh, yep, I can confirm that with my sight loss, my balance is awful. But I still go out and I attempt things, although not always coordinated. But yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
I'm glad it's not just me.
No, it's not.
For everybody else, but for
well, because a friend posed a challenge of trying to stand on one leg for 10 seconds, and I was like, you know, a puppet just dancing around the place, just trying to stand still. That was impossible.
There's being blind and visually impaired, there's nothing wrong with falling over. I've started paddleboarding myself, and when you haven't got much balance, or you can't see your horizon or anything like that, it's very, very tricky to keep not only balanced on the board, but also to move the all backwards and forwards and side to side. Like Jill said, it's just repetition and it's perseverance. And if anything's shown, you know, if you're living with a sight loss, that's one attribute that we all share is then perseverance, you know, that true grit, don't give up type attitude, you know, and you will start feeling that your balance is getting better, or your coordination with your other senses is getting better, you know, your sense of touch, you know, your sense of smell, all of these come into play when you haven't got your eyesight, and many of us will agree with that, you know. So it's just literally like I say, I'm blind, I'm living with sight loss myself, but there's no sport or there's no activity that I wouldn't try at least once, but just have a go at it, you know. I think everybody, if there is a sport out there or experience you want to try, then, you know, go for it.
Yeah, and I think it's true, because when I first tried the windsurfing over on Coniston Lake, and they said, yeah, you'll stand up on the board, I was like, yeah, of course. I can now actually, yes, I did end up in a few trees and a few lakesides, but I did it. You know, it took me quite a while. I think it's been about 4 times. But I suppose after a while, you just believe in yourself, don't you? You get the confidence through others, and you get to do stuff and try it. So.
One guy said to me, he said, if you're learning to canoe or paddleboard, he said, you're never going to master it until you fall in. So and I think it's true, because I fell in so many times, you know, but you just get back on the board. You know, you have such a laugh, you know, you forget that you can't see, and you think, you know what, just jump straight back on it and have another go. And I've actually got a fund I'm saving up for my own paddleboard at the moment, so I'm halfway there. So hopefully, when the spring comes and the weather gets a bit warmer, I'll be back out on the out in the sea with my friend in Caroline. It's one thing she doesn't like; she likes the paddleboard. So dogs like sitting as well, so they're very good on a paddleboard themselves. So.
Mark, I can confirm the very first time I stood on a paddleboard, I lasted about 3 seconds. And yeah, it was just trying to get back on it and start all over again.
But I've got a friend that's ably sighted, and he's not much better than I am. So you know, so just because you're visually impaired doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Yeah, well, I think that's what sort of the canoeing one that I'm doing in September. I think that's what's led me to that, because he says there can be rapids, and I'm thinking, I don't mind getting wet, I don't mind getting chucked in, it don't bother me.
Hi, it's Rod here. Can I just ask what level of swimming ability you need for things like canoeing and paddleboarding?
Well, for canoeing, you don't actually need to be able to swim. You just need to be confident if you fall in. You'll be wearing a buoyancy aid. There'll be instructors around. There'll be guides around. You just need to be a person who's not going to have a big panic if they do fall in. So you need to be confident to be floating on your back with a buoyancy aid on. It needs to be not the end of the world if your head goes under and your face gets wet. But you don't have to be able to swim 100 meters or anything like that. It's water confidence rather than swimming ability.
Okay. And do people wear contact lenses? And I wondered whether people have a kind of do they wear goggles or anything like that when they're sort of doing water sport?
Not generally. I'm not sure about contact lens wearers. I think most outdoor instructors who wear contact lenses generally put their glasses on when they're canoeing or something, because less like, and then tie them on.
Okay.
So,
thanks.
It's come up to 10 to 8 now. Has anyone got any final questions or anything that they would like to try, or you know, or have experienced?
Just one thing for me to say: if anybody does want to be on our mailing list, to get the emails about what we do and stuff like that, if you just drop us a line you've probably got the email address admin@vision-of-adventure, then we can add it to the mailing list.
What was that?
Admin@vision-of-adventure.org.
At visionadventure.org. Okay.
Vision
Thank
of
you.
Adventure. Yeah.
Vision of an Adventure.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you do drop us a line, it's really good when you drop us a line if you sort of tell us a bit about yourself. Because people,
I would
coming in and say, can you add me to the mailing list? And then we have to write back and say, are you a VI or a guide or interested for someone?
I'd add quite a bit of information about me.
The more information about yourself and what you're interested in, that sort of thing, the better. Then we can put you on the mailing list and send you the right stuff.
Thank you.
Brilliant. What I will do is, as we send a follow-up email out to everybody with the audio recording for our YouTube channel, any information that has been sort of discussed in, I'll pop into an email, any email addresses, telephone numbers. Like I said, I'll put the blogs in there again, if that's a deal, and any other relevant information that you guys might find useful if you're interested in taking up one of these amazing courses through Vision. But I'd like to say thanks to Jill and to Rachel. I will close this evening. Thank you to everybody that has joined us this evening. It's been a great turnout for our first national peer group. We do have other groups coming up in the next few weeks. So if anybody has joined us from Belfast, Kim is joining us this evening. She's our group facilitator. Thanks for coming along, Kim. And she will be hosting their first in-person group meeting at the Ulster Museum in Belfast to discover art. That's quite a lunch. If anybody has joined us along with Kim from Belfast, please come along to that. Anyone from Berkshire, we have a meeting on Tuesday, which is our New Year's social, to meet the group and discuss any in-person group meetings or activities that they want to do in or the Berkshire area. We also have on the 22nd our London group meeting. So anyone that's joined us from the London area, we are having a bit of a have your say tech talk with our resident gadget man, Jonathan. So if anyone's got any new gadgets or tech that they've received over Christmas as a gift, and you want a bit of advice, tips, hints or tricks on how to use smart tech or any new assistive tech that you've been given, then please come along to that one. That's on the 22nd, and that's 11 AM to 1 PM on Sunday the 22nd. And then following week, quite a busy week on the 24th. So if anybody's in the West Midlands area, we're focusing around employment. So we have a guest speaker from Sense, Zoe Bates, going to be talking about how you can stay in work, any support that you need within the workplace, getting back to the workplace, CV writing, etc. And then if you're from anywhere in the Kent area, we have the Kent County Council or the education people coming in to talk about employment. So again, please join us for those. They're both evening meetings. So they'll be starting again at 7 PM to 8 PM on the 24th, 25th. All of these are available on our website for our local peer group page. But if anyone wants to contact me or the office, you can do that by calling our helpline, which is 0300 111 4000. Our info@retinauk.org email address, and that will get me with any guys need registering or finding out more. That's we've got coming up for local peer groups. But on the 25th, we have our fundraising team joining us for our first webinar of 2023, and that is our fundraising team and what events, challenges, and how you can get involved with fundraising for the UK. So anything from the London Marathon, having your own cake sale, or taking part in a trek, walk, skydive, wing walk, or any of the above, then again, contact.
What date was that?
What, the webinar?
Yeah.
The webinar is on the 26th, and again, that starts at 7 p.m. All the links and the details will be in the follow-up email that I'll send out. So just go hit the link, register your name, and then you'll get the Zoom link exactly as
okay, thank you.
So there's just a few things coming up. If anyone else wants to get involved with Retina UK, or find out any more about the services that we do, you know, I support our local peer groups and also our talking.
We haven't got a local peer group at all.
So whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Surrey. I'm border of Surrey, West Sussex. West Sussex, yeah.
They are two. I've only been with the organisation for 15 months, and it's my goal up to 2025 to have a peer group in every county. We are looking for volunteers. We can't support a local peer support group without the crucial support from our volunteers, and we've got a couple of us tonight, a few of us with us that have joined this evening from West Midlands. Rachael, who spoke from our Manchester group.
I know, mate. I know Rachael.
And we can't do it without the you know, our volunteers are crucial. They're vital, and they make what we do special, you know, in terms of how they bring their community together. So if there's something that you're interested in creating a group in your local area, then please contact me, you know, via services@retinauk.org. And you know, we can get you trained up, you know, we can explain how to work, you know, whether you want to, you know, start out online, whether you want to go face to face. A lot of our groups now are mixing between the two, depending on what the season is, and activities that you guys want to do. We really leave it to the inspiration and the imagination of our local.
Could rope you in, Jane. I wrote Rich and Sarah in for the last.
I know you did, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Rachel, Richard, they've all been invaluable, and they've made me look like a rock star last year as well. So I really do appreciate their support. In terms of our national groups, we have them seasonally. So the next one's going to be in the spring. We're going to be looking at getting hands-on with touch tours. So in your area, we're going to be hopefully joined by Vocalize, who will talk about touch tours and how you can get involved in touch tours in museums, art galleries, other venues.
Oh, I love all of that. I really love all of that.
Sorry, Mark, could we also maybe look at Mind's Eye for that one, because they do an awful lot in the north of the area.
No, I was trying to find sort of charities that are kind of national, but if they help out as well, then yeah, brilliant.
They do quite a bit. She does stuff over in Keswick and Manchester and the north area, Birmingham, that sort of areas. Mind's Eye is a great one to do touch tours and theatre shows.
They're brilliant.
We'll write that Mind's Eyes. In the summer, at the end of June, we will also be going full throttle with a charity or an organisation called AbleNet, and they will be talking about how you can get behind the wheel of a supercar and experience a racing car.
Oh, I'd love to do that again.
Or any other it's an organisation that was on the back end of Virgin Experiences that now allow anybody with any disability to have a go and experience. And I will be taking flight in my first flying lesson in May, and I will be talking about my experience in the cockpit of an aeroplane, which is something that I've always wanted to have a go at. So if you want to come along to that one, that's at the end of June. All of these will be available on our website soon. And then in end of September, we will be discovering the world of audio description. It's something that I haven't really got involved in much through my sight loss experience, but many of you might do a lot more when it comes to audio description. So we are going to be getting hands-on with, or is on with, some audio description and how you can utilize audio description in theatres, cinemas, etc. And yeah, so that's a rundown from
Mark, this is Jonathan. When you're talking about audio description, if I can help in any way, I'm a trustee of Vocalize.
Okay, brilliant. Oh, is that Jonathan Abrose?
Yes.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi. Yes, actually, you were going to be the man that I was going to be contacting to help us support that. With the amazing work that you've done, that we've shared through Retina UK. Yes, I was going to have a chat with you about that, and thank you very much for coming along and giving your advice for our London group on the 22nd. That's
pleasure.
Cool. Mark, if you want any help with the Mind's Eye stuff, just let me know, because I do a lot with Mind's Eye over here in Manchester.
Yeah. Well, that's smashing, guys. Thank you very much for your support and helping us make these meetings work for everybody. So if there are anything or any other topics that you want to for me to think of or discuss, or any other groups that you want us to come up with, then please, I'm an open book. I'm very creative and imaginative, so if there's anything that you guys want to do, then let us know. Thanks very much.
Just one thing quick, Mark.
Yeah.
Rachel and I might be doing a Seable holiday, which is one of the other companies for holidays. So
I've heard of them, but I can't ever get hold of them.
Yes, I do have actually. They've literally just restarted. We had an email from them, Seable, come through the other day.
So we're hoping to book a holiday on Saturday with them.
Yeah, I do have details for them as well, but there was a couple of other holiday groups that I come across, but I have to find a text message that I sent someone. But Seable was one of them, and there was another Seable Holidays, obviously Vision of Adventure, and there was one more, but I can't actually remember what it's. Oh, Limitless. No,
Travelize.
Travelize are an organisation that they I think they come through the VIP. I think they're more of like, they help people get out and about. Travelize, I think.
No, I've been on a Travelize holiday, Mark.
I'm
Two
not
other visually impaired blind people. We went to Lanzarote for a week.
Okay. I might be thinking
flew
something
from London.
very
That
similar.
was the only issue. I had to fly from London. With Seable, you can travel from wherever you want. You can fly locally.
I'd like the information about Seable.
There is another organisation called Limitless Holidays as well. I found
what? What's that one?
Limitless, they're called. If you just type in Limitless Travel, I think
no, I haven't. No.
They do a lot of holidays. I think they do them nationally and internationally as well for people that are that have got disabilities. I think it includes sensory disabilities as well.
Oh, cool. I'll have to have a look.
Just type in Limitless Travel, or just ask Siri or Google to ask us Limitless Travel, and I think that's the thing that pops up.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Just one very quick thing, Mark, just with regard to audio description, in the Berkshire Vision group, we've been kind of sharing links with regard to audio description and the ability of being able to get audio description, even when it's not available on the device that you're watching. Other sources of being able to get the audio description file to listen to movies. So that's something that we can discuss outside of this call if you're interested.
Well, thank you very much. And thanks very much for your help as well with your support for your local peer group as well, that you went to at the beginning of December. That's much appreciated, and thanks very much for your feedback as well.
Yep, thank you, and thank you for your help with that as well. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Like I say, if anybody needs any support from me, then please drop me a line. You can contact us through our office number as well, which I forgot to mention. It's 01280 821 334. And one of my colleagues will actually take a message and then pass it on to me, because I don't work in the office. I work.
Can I just ask, is Jill still on?
Yes, I'm still here.
Can I ask, I think I saw, was you extending some of your activities that you do? Was there going to be something around walking? Did I see?
Yes,
or is that...
we've got walking on this year. Yeah.
Have you?
We have added in walking for the first time because people wanted it. We do tend to do what people want, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, walking's been added in this year. We are also adding in a bit of cycle touring this year, which hasn't gone out yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How do you decide sort of what activities you do? Is it by asking VI World, or is it what you can provide? Or
by asking? Yeah. We most of the things that we do come out of a conversation on a course on a Sunday night over a glass of wine. We'd like to do this. And the whole triathlon came because me and Liz were doing it, and other people going, oh, right, I'd like to do that. Yeah. So yeah, we set up a course. It's we do what people want, basically, as long as it's within our remit. There'll be some things outside.
Maybe just hang on 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Sounds really good.
Does.
Thank you very, very much to everybody, and to Jill and Rachel for sharing such an amazing organisation, charity. I hope you guys have an amazing 2023 with Vision and Adventure, and I hope everyone that's joined us this evening takes advantage of some of the amazing activities.
I'm going to go and have a look at the website.
That's brilliant. Like I say, if you do need, I will be putting a follow-up email out probably Monday once we've edited the recording and got that back, and that will go out first thing Monday probably, hopefully, and it will have all the information on it with upcoming events. This is from Retina UK. Any information from Jill, contact information. So, but thank you very, very much for everybody for joining. Appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Mark.
Bye.
We hope you have enjoyed this recording. If you have any questions, queries, or wish to leave any feedback, then please leave it in the comment section below. Alternatively, you can send your inquiries to info@retinauk.org.uk. Contact us via the telephone on 01280 821 334 or call our helpline on 0300 111 4000, which is open Monday to Friday 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. If you would like to know more about our local peer groups, when your next meeting will be held, or if you wish to get involved in creating your own group, or would like to know more about our services that Retina UK provides, then please visit our information and support page on our website www.retinauk.org.uk and navigate to our local peer group page. Thanks again for listening. We hope to see you again soon. Take care and bye for now.